And our next show and teller, very excited that he is here. Comedian in Nashville, Tennessee, also the creator of the wildly successful YouTube channel Hickok45 on YouTube. 6 million. 6 million subscribers. Hickok45 on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, John Hickok.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here, John. Great to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
We just met recently doing comedy here in Nashville. Yeah. Host of the Twin Kegs open mic.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, you know, the thing I'm the most proud of.
Very regularly. Yeah, I know, right? That's the one thing.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. Well, very excited to have you here. I know that you collect tons of things. I know that you're into tons of stuff. We'll get to that. But let's just start to let's get to what you brought. Now, I don't know if you've met Susan yet. Susan is working super hard.
Yep.
She is the backbone of Show and Tell. She, again, what we do here is we give credit and we pay respect to the items in our lives that deserve that respect. So Susan's been working hard making your item look good. Now, you might blow up this entire place with what you've got. Tell us what item you brought in here.
All right, so it is a Mark II pineapple grenade, as most people would know it, just a pineapple grenade. So they were used from 1918, which, if you don't know your history, 1918 was around, you know, the middle, you know, while the World War I was really heating up, right? So these were used in World War I to a certain degree, and primarily people think of them as World War II grenades, but they were used in World War II and Korea and a little bit in Vietnam, at the beginning of Vietnam.
Wow! And
it's called a pineapple grenade because it looks like a pineapple. Yeah. And the reason it looks like a pineapple is because it's the way it's, so you can see it's got those little pieces on it, basically, right? So those are designed to fragment, so when it explodes, so it creates weak points, so those will come flying out like little bullets, basically, in every direction is kind of the idea. And if you don't know about grenades, if you're watching, basically, you pull the pin. So once you've pulled the pin, nothing has happened yet, right? You've just only made it potentially active, and then once you flick the spoon, which is the metal piece that goes down the side, then there's a striker that is on a spring, which it's not in there because it's inert, which I could talk about that, and it will hit a primer, just like on the back of a cartridge in a bullet, for like a rifle or something, and it ignites a slow delay fuse, and you have about 4 seconds, and then boom.
Unbelievable. So this grenade, though, I mean, you can't pull the pin, or can you pull the pin?
Oh, you can pull it, but it won't do it. So it's inert, right? So this grenade, so there's lots of dummy grenades you can buy out there for $5 or $10 at like novelty stores. But what's unique about this is it's actually a grenade that was live at one point, that was issued to a soldier. I don't know how to date it. You know, it could be, you know, I mean, it seems like everything World War II was made in 1943 because that was like the year just the whole country was just making stuff, you know. So it could be a 43, it could be a 39, it could, you know, but somewhere in that range. But what happened was somebody got it, you know, probably wasn't supposed to take it from some sort of like supply depot or something like that, and then later made it inert. So there's no illegal status about it because it is basically a paperweight. It's not dangerous at all, and then a bunch of those showed up on the secondary market. Okay, and you can find them, and they're pretty collectible. Like it was about $700.
Yeah. So where do you that was $700?
Yeah, they're not easy to find. Yeah.
Yeah. So who do you get that from? Like, where do you get something?
You can online, like basically specialty places online. You can find them.
So you can just literally order a grenade and have.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, you gotta.
FedEx.
Right, because it's not. It's just a chunk of metal. Yeah.
Right.
Because it's been made inert. So like, there's two components to a grenade that would make it live. One, you'd have a charge in the main body of it, which I think at that time they used TNT basically. I think now they use like plastic explosive or something like that, like C4. And then you have the stem. So if you actually unscrewed the head, you'd see there's like a long stem that kind of goes down into it. And that's where you have the fuse, and you'd have a live primer in there, and there'd be like a little spring, like I was saying, that ignites the primer, sets off the fuse, and then there's another charge at the bottom of that. So basically, all of that, you can see it's been like, if you take it off, you can see where it's been like clipped and all that's removed. And then obviously all the TNT was emptied out of it.
Yeah.
But it's cool because a lot of the dummy grenades you see, they have a hole in the bottom. But this one you can probably see in the, thanks to Susan over here.
Yeah, Susan. I mean, Susan's really going to, I mean, it'll come back around. We'll see the bottom. Check it.
Yeah.
I mean, check out that bottom.
So it is still intact. It does not have a hole drilled in it, which is very cool. So from the outside, there's no way to tell it's not a live grenade, basically.
Yeah. Wow. Unbelievable. So how do you know? So you run Hickok45, which is a channel, which, I mean, basically you run with your dad, and you guys review guns. We actually have a clip. You posted a clip. I had to show it because I thought that it was awesome.
Okay.
Catfish, can we roll the clip of John on Hickok45's channel? Guys, if you don't subscribe to Hickok45, this is the hot content that you're missing.
I hope it's good. I hope this clip doesn't suck.
Yeah, feel free to commentate. We can hear it, but Catfish, let's roll this. This is the good stuff you'll see on Hickok45.
Hey, John Hickok here. Now, I know what you're thinking. Are you really going to dual wield a full auto mini Uzi and a full auto Glock 18? Yes. And that was the first time I had ever. I'd shot those guns many times, but look at that. That was pretty fun, right? I'd never shot them at the same time before. We just did it live on the video.
Yeah.
It's an open bolt.
Well, no, and you guys, I mean, and that's not where the video ends. If you keep watching the video, you break it down.
There's a comparison between the two.
You compare them. You show people how to clean them. I mean, you guys are doing some really informative stuff. How did you get into this? I mean, you guys and your dad, 6 million views. Was this your idea? Your dad's idea? Tell me kind of about when that began.
I can tell a pretty clean version of the story because
a little history of Hickok45.
Yeah, because we've of course been asked this before. So basically, break it down for you. So my dad, lifelong shooter, right? He started shooting competition in the 70s and all through the 90s and everything, right? Different forms of it. So because of that, he built a shooting range on his place, right? Which is where I was born, where I grew up. So I grew up on a shooting range. So I was very indoctrinated into guns and the whole thing, right? So then, and he was a teacher. So I go off to college, and I'm in college, and I was experiencing not living on a range for the first time, and realizing like, oh, that was actually kind of a weird childhood that I had, and it sort of like rekindled my love for guns because I realized how unusual it was. You know what I mean? So I would be watching a lot of YouTube and stuff, and I discovered, and this would have been like 2008, 7, something like this, right? Very early on in YouTube, and so I discovered people were shooting guns on YouTube, right? So I'd watch these YouTube videos because it reminded me of being back home shooting guns with my dad, right? And at that same time, it's weird how all this just lined up perfectly. At that same time, my dad in his class was teaching Shane the Book, which was a Western movie, if you're familiar with that. And because he's a gun nut, to explain to the kids things about like the Western firearms, the Western era firearms from the late 1800s, he made a video on the range to kind of explain to it for his class, right? And he sent it to me while I was in college, like, hey, what do you think about this? So I have this in my head of like, I've been watching these YouTube videos and there's these crude videos of like just a shaky camera from the side, like here's a gun, and then seeing what my dad did, it was just like it all clicked, like, yeah, you should be making these videos. You know what I mean? You could do something way better than this, right? And so we talked on the phone about it a lot. He made a few, and I would kind of like critique him, be like, yeah, I should do this or that or whatever.
You're like, Dad, hold it horizontal.
Yeah, exactly.
Quit holding it vertical.
Yeah.
Horizontal.
This is even before that existed, I think. And then I dropped out of college, because I'm not smart, and moved back home. And then just, I didn't have much going on in my life. So I was like, we'll make these damn videos. This would be kind of fun, just something to do, And we made the videos for fun. I filmed them and stuff, and we'd come up with ideas. My dad would be at work, and I'd be sitting around, nothing to do, just coming up with ideas for him. And he'd come home and have a million ideas. He would have ideas, and we would just it was just a fun thing to do.
And how long did it take to get the following?
So this period I'm talking about would have been like 2000, like May 2009, I think, is when I came home from college around that time. And then so we did it for like a couple years with really not making any money, and then I got a job and I started working and stuff. And then there was like a period of time where it was like, oh, this is starting to really gain some traction. And then we signed up for the Google AdSense program. We started making a little money, and then more money started rolling in. Eventually, I quit my job, and then he quit his job, and then we just did it full time. We got sponsors, and it just kind of slowly built. There was no just like overnight success. It was just years and years. But I've been doing it full time as my full time job since like 2011 or something.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's incredible. And so you guys, how much content are you putting out? Has the fame gone to your dad's head? You have to stop him from.
Yeah.
Does he walk in?
He's wearing like gold and sunglasses.
Yeah, he's just out here.
No, it's. I mean, this could be a whole other conversation. But obviously, like success is going to change you on some level.
Yeah.
But he's handled it fine. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, it's everything's good.
That's great. And so then you got into comedy. What got you into comedy with all the other stuff you kind of been doing?
Yeah, so I was always a fan of comedy. Always liked it. But I never saw myself in a million years as someone who could like stand up in front of people and talk. I was always really shy, really afraid of that, even afraid of just simple social situations, But then doing those videos and then me popping in occasionally, I did like a podcast back in the day for a while, and I kind of realized like, it's not that scary, And I kind of realized like, okay, this is since this is having success, like it'd be kind of nice if I had my own thing that's totally separate, So that was kind of what kind of got me into that, and I thought maybe it'll help me for the videos. It actually didn't, because when I do the videos, I feel like I'm bombing because there's no crowd, there's no one there, So it actually made it harder in some ways. Yeah. But I as I got into it, I just loved stand up so much. Where I'm like, this is also something whatever I can do to be successful at,
Yeah. You ever get people from the channel show up to shows?
Yeah, definitely.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Absolutely.
It's like, yeah, but conceal. What is it? Conceal and carry or whatever.
Yep.
Whatever. We've been drinking. We've been having a good time on Show and Tell.
Oh yeah.
John Hickok, where can people find you? You've got stuff coming up.
Yeah, so Instagram is like probably one of the most active, just as an individual. It's just John, John, Hickok 45 on Instagram. So John Hickok 45 on Instagram.
Perfect. Check him out. Twin Kegs, Comedy Weekly. You can see him hosting. Guys, thanks for being here. Show and Tell, and we'll be right back.